I'm not proud of this, but I have really painted myself into a corner. In the past, I have released music on TuneCore. I've actually released 2 albums and 1 single over there. And initially, when you release an album, you say, oh, it's 29 bucks in the first year. That's not a bad deal. But then this renewal fee starts hitting you annually, $49 a year. I am right up against my renewal date from one of my LPs. So they're about to hit my credit card for 49 bucks. Problem, I look back at my royalties from last year. That album, it's a legacy album, it only generated about $9 in actual royalties. So I want to pull that album off of TuneCore and I want to move it to a different distributor, but I want to do it without losing the plays that it's already gotten. I don't want to lose the credit for those. So let's see how to do that today. Stick with me. We're going to get off of TuneCore and we're going to get onto a different distributor. So the 3 primary choices of distributor these days are TuneCore, DistroKid, and CD Baby. And each one of them has its own claims to fame. I think if you're a really established artist where you have a whole lot of streams happening, TuneCore is probably fine. They got great statistics, it's a good interface, easy to release stuff there, it's all good. Problem is, my releases that are over there are legacy releases. One was an album I put out in 1980. Another one was an album I put out originally in 1995 and then did a remastered version of just a couple of years ago. So the reality of streaming is you don't get paid much. In fact, it takes about 3,000 streams for you to make approximately $10. I'm talking Spotify right now. So in other words, to pay for a $49 renewal fee, basically 50 bucks, you're talking you need 15,000 streams from that particular record in order to just pay your renewal fee, break even for the year. So if you have legacy releases, which I do, things that I keep up there for my fans because they're things that they know of my past music and they want to be able to access it, and frankly, I want to be able to access it too, this starts really feeling like a vanity project when I'm paying more than I'm actually earning. That just feels wrong. So I think it's important to keep that in mind when you start to calibrate where do you want your music to be. So TuneCore, solid service. If you have a ton of streams, a lot of fans, you're not going to even notice that $49 a year. But for a guy like me, I do notice it, right? DistroKid has certain advantages, especially for people who are going to be releasing a lot of music. You pay an annual membership fee and you can release as much music as you want. But you do need to really be aware with DistroKid. There are a lot of add-on fees. For example, if you want to just have your songs monetized on YouTube, you're going to pay, I think it's $15 a year for a release to have it monetized over there. If you want to have it on Shazam so people can say, yeah, Shazam it and find out what it is, that's like $1 per track, etc. And don't quote me on the pricing. Bottom line is there are add-ons. There's also a Leave a Legacy add-on where I think for 50 bucks you can they'll guarantee that your release will stay up no matter what, even if your membership lapses. From my standpoint, I don't like nickel and diming. I really don't. And when I've looked at all these things, with the high price of TuneCore and the nickel and diming of DistroKid, I ended up really believing and seeing that CD Baby's the right thing for me. It's an all-in-one deal. If it's original music, you just do CD Baby Pro. I think it ends up costing about $70 to release an entire album. I think it's about $30 to release a single. But keep in mind, too, there are deals that happen. If you're on mailing lists like I am, music mailing lists, you probably see half-off deals fairly often. I know I do. And when you see those, just grab the deal, prepay, and then you'll have the album or the single release just sitting there in your account ready to go whenever you want to use it. So I really love CD Baby because when you get the pro service, it's just everything. It's all there. They got a great user interface. Their payments seem to be good, on time. I like their statistics. They have a good connection into Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, etc. And when I've distributed things through them, it gets delivered quickly. All good. So today I'm going to figure out how to remove my album Get This from TuneCore and get it up through CD Baby. Let's see what happens. Okay, I've logged into TuneCore, as you can see. Yeah, there's my collections. 821, not enough to cover a $49 renewal fee. So this is the album. You can see I released it on January 23rd, 2 years ago. It's going to be renewing tomorrow, the 24th of 2020. And so I got to figure out, how do I get this thing off of here? So here are the instructions that TuneCore posts. How do I take my music down? You can remove it at any time and no charge. It's a permanent action. Yep, no problem. Once you click on the link below, you'll be brought to the Takedown request form. For security purposes, submit the email address registered to your TuneCore account. Once you click submit, you'll receive an email to the address you provided with instructions on how to remove your music. Read the information on how takedowns are processed. If you want to do it, click the link at the bottom, etc., etc. Proceed to the takedown form here. All right, takedown request. There's my email address. I'll just hit submit. Did I receive an email? We're sorry to hear that you're thinking of removing your music from online stores. Before we continue, we want to give you a friendly heads up. This action is permanent and cannot be reversed. This is because our store partners consider takedown requests to be final. You'll lose any store views, comments, or playlists. Not necessarily true, right? If you wish to make this release live again in future, you'll also need to start over from scratch by uploading your files again and distributing under a new UPC code. Yes. And then, of course, they brag, hey, we've collected and paid $883 million, you know, blah, 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 since 2006. I don't blame them. They're still too expensive. All right. Yep, here's what you get. Da, da, da. If you change your mind, okay. So what do I need to do here? If you still want to remove it, please proceed here. So strong sales pitch, but proceed here. Take down all stores. Your release will be removed from all of the stores it was previously available in. Most stores can take up to a week to process a takedown. So I have been warned that it's possible I'm going to have duplicate release out there. I guess it could happen. We'll see. Cancel on your renewal date. Your content will be marked for takedown from all stores and you will not be charged any renewal fee. Okay, so take down all stores. This is the album because it's about to renew. And then I'm going to hit. Ooh. Before I do this, maybe I should check all my ISRC codes. Just had a flash. All right, let's go do that. Let's go to my discography. Okay. Let's just check this release. Okay. So note, this is an album that has 21 tracks because it was a re-released, remastered, expanded edition. So as you look on this, there's a couple of things. Okay, it's probably going to end up with a new UPC code, but just to be safe, I'm going to grab all of this information. I'm going to copy that, put it in a note to myself. Do that. Okay. And then same thing with all of this information because this has ISRC codes, right? And I'm going to need that information, copying it. I'm just going to put it like you can put in a word processing document or whatever. But okay, so now I have a record. I'll just show you over here. I've got a record of all the ISRC codes because I'm going to need to re-enter all this information when I go to a new distributor. Okay. Now I can go back to where I was, take down all stores. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and hit submit. Sure you want to continue. Permanent action cannot be reversed. Cancel 0 releases. These releases will be taken down when their current renewal expires. Okay. Continue. I'm doing it. We're processing your subscription updates. Wow. You know, they make you feel almost like a criminal for taking your stuff down, right? All right. So it's no longer showing in my stuff. Let me just go over to music and see if it's even there. List of all your releases. Okay, it shows as taken down. And that's what I want. Okay, feels kind of bold, but I'm not going to be charged tomorrow that $49 fee, which, you know, really, I think that's my complaint with TuneCore is that it feels like highway robbery that you only pay $29 the first year, but then it's $49 every year after that. I just don't think that's cool. That's, you know, it's like their work is done, right? I don't know why they get away with charging that much. All right, so we're done with TuneCore. Now let's go over to CD Baby and see how it works to put this in there to actually get it going. So the idea is, by doing this either on the same day or frankly, I could have even done this a couple days ago, you try to get overlap between the two so that if it gets pulled from the stores, it's already coming into the stores from the other source, from the new source, the new distributor. All right, so here's my CD Baby account dashboard. Notice I've already purchased a Pro album. This is paid. I actually bought this quite a while ago for a smoking deal. You can do the same thing. When you see deals on CD Baby, just prepay, and then later you'll be able to come in and do this. Okay, so view edit. Basically what I'm going to be doing is rebuilding this from scratch, but I'm going to use all the same song titles, the same files, the same ISRC codes that were used over there on TuneCore. And that's really the key to the whole thing. The basic album information, I copied. I'm so glad I copied all of the info from TuneCore, because now I have it all available. It's very easy for me to make sure that everything is labeled correctly. So we're going to just move through that process. We got to change this because this is probably when I bought when I paid. So we want this to basically be released immediately, right? So I'm just going to choose today if it lets me. I guess it does. So now I'm going to go check on Spotify how these are actually labeled. Here we go. Don't Go Back to Sleep, bonus track, solo acoustic. Can I copy this from Spotify? No. All right, so I'm going to just type that in. Okay, from this page you can provide or edit information about your tracks, including songwriter and publisher details, featured performers, etc. We'll display a check mark in the status column next to each track for which you provided all the required information. No lyrical, no explicit content. Language of lyrics is English. Is this track live? No. Original composition. Need to have at least one collecting songwriter opted for in CD Baby Pro Publishing Royalty Collection on this release. All right, add new songwriter. Robert J. So this is the first time I've released anything that's an original song on CD Baby. Yes, collect royalties for this songwriter, sure. If you have any cover songs on your record, you actually need to go get a license for those, particularly for digital downloads where people are going to actually be buying the track. The original writer needs to get compensated for those mechanical royalties. So if you're on CD Baby, you'll see that they have this page that says license your cover songs. They don't do licensing themselves anymore. I guess they used to. They send you over to easysonglicensing.com. I've had challenges with Easy Song Licensing. I ended up doing one song through them and it was just a little bit kludgy. So I like to use song files. So this is a Harry Fox agency. Let's see, songfile.com. Let's go over there and let's see if I can get a license for Holly Holy real quick. Okay, so they already know me. I'm going to Songfile, get a license. And it's for permanent digital download. That's really what I'm concerned about. I would eat my hat if I get more than 50 in the next 12 months, so that seems like a good spot. I've already been through here, so Apple Music and my own Cosmic Spin website are the two places that are likely. So I've got those all in here and ready to go. Where do you plan on distributing inside the US? It'll only let you choose one of those. So the name of the tune is Holly Holy. And I think they only need one, right? So I'll hit search and let's see what comes up with. This is the song, right? Holly Holy by Neil Leslie Diamond. Okay, now we're going to need this information. This is really important that you understand you're going to need that. So I'm going to take Neil Leslie Diamond. I'm actually I'm going to copy all this information just to have it. Not that I really need it all. And I want to add it to the cart. All right. Here's the other bit of information that's going to be very important. They are going to ask for the publisher name, and it needs to be spelled exactly the way that is. So I'm going to copy that as well. And then I'll have that available to myself when I get back over to CD Baby to complete that process. All right, so I'm going to check out. I'm basically going to say today's date, which is 01/23/2020. Playtime, I'm going to have to go check that. Holly Holy is 5:42. It's a nice long one. 5:42. Artist performing is Robert Cassard. That's an optional deal, so I'm not going to say anything about it. Okay, and then we're going to go to next. It's only costing $5.25 for the actual royalty, but of course, Harry Fox and Songfile gets a $16 fee. It's a little steep, but I'm not going to have to do this again, presumably for quite a long time, if ever. This is what it's going to look like, only this will all be filled in with your name, address, and stuff when you get the actual document. So you got to accept it, continue, and then do what you got to do to get your credit card in there. And here's all the info by clicking. Okay, so I'm going to authorize the transaction. And as they say here, this is not a license. You got to wait. You're going to get it emailed to you later. But nonetheless, it's proof that you paid and that you intended to buy the license, which we're going to presume as if the license has already been granted for now as we post all this stuff. And we're going to go back to CD Baby. All right, so let's look at this track. So this is the track Holly Holy. I'm still the artist, right? The parental advisory, no, it's in English. It's not a live version. It's a cover song. Okay, they don't collect royalties for cover songs, right? So you have to add the songwriter. Now we know from our notes that the writer is Neil Leslie Diamond. Okay, and then what you'll see is that's added there, right? So then what did Neil Leslie Diamond contribute? Music and lyrics. Who's the publisher? I need to go grab that information. And so what I do is copy exactly what it says and pop it in there and then hit next track and see what it does. Looks like we're good. All right, so that's how you get a cover song in there. And then you continue on with whatever else you got to do. All right, so there's my track menu. There's only one problem. I forgot to add other featured artists. I've got 2 songs, tracks 4 and 5, that feature Rue. And then I've got track 8 features Tika Ballas, and track 9 features Borrow Waters. So clearly they're getting all the data they need, and once you've got all that information, you can see a summary of the track information by clicking here. You can see if your lyrical content, if you've indicated that it's clean or explicit, whether it's original, who are the songwriters, etc. So, and you can see here primary artist Robert Cassard featuring Rue, so they've got that correct. So it looks like we are all good. Now let's see at the end, return to track menu. And our next step, I believe, is going to be to upload all the audio files. So lot of information, you know, takes a while to chug. All right. Obviously, I haven't dealt with any of the genre information yet. Let's go to tracks and audio. Okay, so here's where we're going to do all of our audio upload. Note that they need to be high quality files in either WAV or FLAC files, 44.1 kilohertz, 16-bit. So that's the deal. All right, let's see how they're coming along. Slowly. But you get the idea. Got to go find my album artwork. There it is. So one of the nice things about CD Baby is it really guides you step by step through the process and makes it, frankly, pretty darned easy. So if I want to make sure that my new release doesn't get treated as a completely new release, which could kind of cause havoc, and you know, I certainly wouldn't get credit for plays that have happened previously, I want to include the ISRCs from the previous disc. So here are my notes where I copied all those ISRC codes. So let's see, I assume this TCADL is part of the code. Let us see. We shall see. I'm going to move this over to the side and just start copying them in. When it comes to your distribution options, in general, this is kind of where I end up favoring things, downloads and streaming. You definitely want to be on streaming services for sure, right? Because you're going to severely limit yourself if you choose CD Baby only and no digital distribution. Downloads only, a lot of people these days just aren't buying digital downloads. Streaming is really taking over. And from what I've seen, it's moving very, very quickly, at least in our experience. And our band kind of appeals to an older demographic. I would think, if anything, they might not be into streaming. They might want to own and purchase their stuff. That's not proving to be true. We've had, well over 100,000 streams of our stuff, and we've probably sold 15, 20 copies, something like that. Minimal. All right. Now, you can do it all even unpaid. I believe artists ought to get paid for their work, so I'm choosing this, downloads plus streaming services. I'm going to have to go find my Apple Music ID and my Spotify ID and get that information in here. Let's check this artist page. It seems to be finding me, so let's check it and see if that's correct. Yep, that is me. Okay. All right, and let's check out the Spotify artist page and see if they've got me correct as well. Yep, that's me. Sweet. Okay, any tracks that are 10 minutes or longer? No. We're going to do all territories. Would you like to earn additional money? One of the things I love about CD Baby is that it has all these distribution and collection options available, and they're all included. You just have to select which ones you want. If you want to check your track list and eligibility, you can. Of course, what you'll see is that any cover song is somewhat limited. You're not going to be able to collect on YouTube because you don't own the song, right? That's the same down here. All right, so that's it. We're going to hit save and continue. Okay, don't worry if you see CD Baby listed on a copyright notice or match third-party content warning next to your videos in your YouTube channel. It means that the Content ID system has correctly identified your song. I think that's really important to understand. So, also it can take up to 30 days for the tracks to be delivered, so, be patient. So we haven't chosen genres, subgenres, location, famous artists you sound like. This is some really good information because it helps categorize you with metadata in their system, but it also, I believe, gets pushed along to the entities where it's being distributed. So I think this is pretty important that you get it right. Spend a little time with this. In my particular case, I'm going to just futz around until I feel good about it. So digital track prices default. They basically, their default album price is $9.99, and you're going to make about $9 from it. In my particular case, I'm going to put all the bonus tracks in at 29 cents. Not that I think anybody's going to actually buy them, but just in case. Because they're really just cool collector's items kind of stuff, so for the fans. All right, I'm going to leave it there and hit continue. Got the ISRCs all in there. Got the distribution taken care of. I do feel like this in CD Baby. Sometimes I feel like I'm a little bit in an endless loop getting everything. It keeps bringing me back through things. But, you know, I never mind that because I feel like it's really making sure that I do everything properly. Okay, you know what I'm going to do here is go back to the title overview. Because when we do that, it pulls us back to this level and we can start to see, okay, I've dealt with my subgenres now and, you know, I've got the mood style set up, artists I sound like, all of that. So I'm starting to make some good progress on all of these aspects. I have not filled out album description or album notes, and I think I need to do that. So I'm going to do that for a minute, and I'll be back with you. All right. So it's 1:41. I started this process on CD Baby at exactly 11:30. So 2 hours and 10 minutes later. Given that all 21 tracks needed to be addressed, I needed to write a short description. I needed to come up with the artists I sounded like. I needed to get everything set, including the folks who are featured. I needed to get them set up and select their artist IDs, etc., etc. By the time all that is said and done, with a little break, I'm looking at about a 2-hour process for that whole thing. But 2 hours in order to get off of that situation where I'm going to be hit up every year by TuneCore for $49. Yes, this time I paid half price because I'd purchased it in advance from CD Baby for the album distribution. This is a one-time deal with CD Baby. You put it up there, you pay for the pro level, you submit for distribution, you're done. So that's a beautiful thing. So that's what I'm about to do, and you can celebrate with me. Here goes. Submit for distribution. Boom. Make sure it's all accurate. Yes, I'm ready. I've reviewed it too many times already. Your album is in the works. Thanks for submitting. It's being sent over to our digital inspectors. Will be reviewed soon. All right. So, you know, now this shows me I probably should have done this process with CD Baby a couple days ago because it does take a day or two to get inspected and then pushed to all the digital distribution services. And it's possible, who knows how effective TuneCore is at ripping stuff off, it is possible that there will be a few days where Get This is missing and you can't find it on the digital distribution services. I'm going to check those tomorrow. Particularly Spotify and Apple Music. Those are the ones I really care about and who the vast majority of your fans are likely to care about too. But I'll check that the next couple of days, and before I distribute this video, I'll make sure you see exactly what happened. And if in fact there was any kind of a gap or chasm between these, that'll help you know exactly when you need to do what. I hope that's helpful to you. If you are trapped by TuneCore, the way I was, you can see it's really not that difficult to get your stuff moved from one distributor to another. And frankly, you could do this from TuneCore to DistroKid. You could do it from DistroKid to CD Baby. You could, you know, whatever is your preference, you can move your stuff around. If you want to see more videos, there's a ton of videos on my channel. Also, you can go to guitardiscoveries.com and they're all over there. Please subscribe. Hit the bell so you'll get notified when I do new videos. Most of all, get your music out there. Share it with the world. I really want that for you. It's such a gratifying thing and the world needs it. All right, thanks. See you soon.